I'm going to be a little bit scientific of what they found works. There's 4 steps. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in the next few weeks. I can see that the inspiration is real, you're feeling it, and the fact that you're sharing it with so many people is so powerful.
Yeah.
Because this is so meaningful for many people out there.
Yes. Welcome down, people, beautiful people. How you doing? It's been a minute. We are here. Hashtag dadbod to madbod. And we have one of my favorite physiotherapists in the world that we were lucky enough to get on. And here she is, Miss Rene Naylor, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, hey, woohoo!
Thanks, guys. Thanks for that wonderful introduction. It's great to be here. I'm feeling really honored, privileged that you've invited me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming on board and chatting to us.
I think maybe before we even start with what you do and all of that, why don't we just talk about how this week has been for us?
Man, what a week. I mean, from fighting off eating the KFC and everything else, apart from going to spinning and all of these things, and just gigging and work and everything else that goes with it. It's been a mad week. How's it been your side?
It has, also quite mad. I went to a quiz night. First of all, let me just say that I went to probably about 6 restaurants over the course of the week.
Wow.
And tried really hard to make good decisions at each one. And then I even went to a quiz night where pizza and beer was the only thing really available. So I just sat there drinking Coke Zero for the rest of the night while everybody at my table was drinking beer and eating pizza, and it looks so good. And I just thank you.
But well done.
Thank you.
Well, it shows in your measurements.
How are those measurements? They were pretty good.
So that should give you that, positive reinforcement.
Absolutely.
Paul kicked my ass for like 1.6 kg.
It was pretty good.
Yes.
It was pretty good. But let's talk about you, Rene. And first of all, tell us about what it is that you do for those who don't know about you.
Okay, so I am a physiotherapist and I specialize in sport physiotherapy. I've been practicing for many, many years, over 25, so without giving my age away. And I've really, most of my career, I've focused on rugby.
Okay.
Rugby players from, amateur level, school, club level, and provincial and national level. So obviously, I've worked with elite players since 2008. I was with the Springboks, but professional teams since 2001.
Okay.
With the Stormers and Western Province Rugby, and then obviously the Springboks 2008.
But that's like when people always ask me, I always, make reference to the fact that, oh no, when I had my shoulder issue, I went and saw Rene Naylor. Who's Rene? And I was like, you don't know who Rene Naylor is? Like,
what's wrong with you?
Are you kidding me? Have you seen my physio? So, and I'm like, she's the Booker's physio. Like, come on. And they're like, wow, that's amazing. So that's my, my little, the Booker's physio is my physio.
Yeah, indeed. How different is it from sort of elite players to the average man on the street? I mean, how different is the job between the two?
So for me, as strange as it may sound, it's actually easier in that elite setup because it's a very controlled environment. And we usually, with the Springboks, I'm with the team practically 6 months of the year. We live together. It's breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. So it becomes very easy, and particularly the fact that you know the players very well. There's a lot of consistency in the squad. You can manage the injury so much better because you're there. You can see, what is he doing? Whereas in the practice, I treat, Qasim, and I give him his exercises. I don't know what he does when he goes home.
Yes.
I don't know if he even does it, and what he does to his shoulder. And then he comes back and he says, no, there was no change, or it was slightly better, but I've no control between sessions what's happened.
Exactly.
Whereas with my elite athlete, I'm seeing him in the morning for a session. This afternoon we're going to do a gym session. Tonight before you go to bed, we're going to strap your shoulder. So there's a lot of intervention. Hence, we can get the player back very quickly.
And his diet is very, very
Yes.
well controlled by the dietitians who work with the squad. So
Yes, of course. In terms of like your guys' challenge, in terms of body weight and body fat, obviously we have some athletes that have that challenge,
Yeah.
and they need more stricter intervention. But that's something that's always controlled. It's not really my field.
Yes.
But it's definitely easier within a team setup, and obviously with athletes that are being paid
Yeah.
to perform, it's expected that
Yes.
you would look after your bodies, compared to us that are doing it because we want to be healthy and it's for our own well-being that we're focusing on our body fat. So yes, and obviously for myself on tour, all the meals are prepared, and
Yes.
we have various options and the menus are there, so it's much easier to follow a healthy choices if you choose to,
yeah,
and if you're motivated to do that.
indeed,
But when you're at home, you have to prepare these meals yourself.
Yourself.
exactly.
And you have to go to the shop, and you have to buy the goods and the the items and prepare the meal.
Yes.
So it takes a lot more effort when you're not on tour. So I can understand for people at home, it is difficult, especially if you're not a professional athlete and you're not going to get paid to have your body weight at a certain mark.
Yeah.
What advice can you give to people who are starting out with exercise routines and to not injure themselves?
So I think if you're starting out and you basically been a couch potato for a while, as many people are now after 2 years of surviving COVID, and our bodies have changed, our minds have changed, and we're really entering this 2023 with this new feeling of I want to get this body and
Yes.
my mind right. Then I'd say start with something you enjoy. If it's exercise. Don't try and do something because you've seen someone else is doing this, but you've never had interest in going to gym,
Yeah.
and you've never been inspired in a gym setup. Then don't even start. Try and choose something you really have fun with, that is active.
And quite obviously, start with going light
Yes,
at whatever
of
you do.
course,
You
of
don't want to
course.
go out with full intensity because your muscles are just certainly not
No, exactly.
very, very warm.
You have to, and obviously if you don't, it's nice if you can have a professional assistance that basically is going to guide you through whatever exercise routine you want to follow. But if you don't, definitely go light with weights, light with duration, and build up slowly.
Absolutely. You always hear about progressive overload, and that's kind of what it is. You start off slowly and you progress by small amounts as you go up, and that's I suppose the same in both weights and cardio as well.
Yes, most definitely. You have to, and I think we're putting a lot more emphasis than we did many years ago on recovery.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the different methods of recovery. Back in the old days, we used to do the same recovery for every athlete, for every player. Now we're being more individual specific. And when I have my weekend warriors come into the practice, I'd say, look at your own body and find out what helps your body recover. Sleep
Everybody's
is obviously,
different.
everyone's different, but the basic things that don't cost anything.
Yes.
Sleep
Yes.
is important.
And funny enough, you just don't get enough of it.
Exactly.
And another thing that people don't realize as well, that, you don't lose the weight and you don't lose the fat and all of that when you're exercising. It's during the rest periods, during the recovery periods, that's
Yes.
when what you've done gets reflected, and while your body heals, you're able to burn that fat.
Yes, and I think the important thing is that we obviously put a lot of emphasis on your, when you look at body fat, losing body fat, we talk about exercise and we talk about diet. But there's that other sneaky factor that we're forgetting, and that's hormones.
Yes.
Because some people, even if they're eating correctly and they're exercising, they may not lose body fat. And the reason could be hormones. So if you're one of those people, and I think it's advisable for most people when they want to lose body fat and they have tried lots of diets, is to have your hormones tested and get the supplements you need from your doctor to rectify hormones if there is a hormonal imbalance, but also be aware that your lack of sleep can influence your hormones.
Yeah.
So it's the hormones, it's plus your hypothalamus, which is the part of the brain that determines your hunger and your thirst. That will be affected.
Yes.
So it's important to look at that aspect. And if you're not recovering, that could be the reason, even though you're doing everything correctly, but you're not sleeping well. You lose all those benefits, that whole day's benefits, by not having a good night's rest. Because then your cortisol is going to increase, and the cortisol means that you're not going to lose weight.
Yep. Yeah. You just keep it. You just keep it all there. Everything you keep there. I remember going through all of this when I was still on tour. I hadn't toured for a while, and then went back at it, and I was at my heaviest. I was about 108, between 108 to 110 kgs. And I wasn't sleeping, and I was working, like burning both ends, both sides, like running a business and performing, and then hitting up the gym. But just I continued feeling sluggish and everything, and I was on fat burners. I was taking all of these things. I was trying to eat right, like literally eating rabbit food, and still didn't see results. And the moment that changed for me was when I changed it up. I actually stopped taking the fat burner, switched it up, started doing yoga and things, but I actually factored in getting in more sleep.
Yes.
And the moment I started doing that, I started seeing results. So sleep is needed, man, for everybody right now. With the dad bod comes the fact that you are a dad, and being a dad means, and for me, I've got three kids, six and under. There's no sleep. I mean, I feel sorry for my wife. She's really like hands-on. She has no sleep, but no sleep is a thing in my house. So
I guess I'm more of a stepdad bod than
no, you a dad, dude. If you're doing what dads do, you a dad. There's no stepdad. You're doing what the dad is doing.
Yes.
You a dad.
Okay, so you're talking hormones, and obviously there are many different hormones in the human body. What are the big culprits?
Well, the big culprit for men, I would definitely investigate and have tested, is your levels of testosterone.
Yes.
They often say when you're, the man boobs, that's, you look at your testosterone, and the testosterone, if it's low, it's going to influence your energy levels and your ability to exercise and your motivation to exercise. You're going to feel sluggish and slow.
Yes.
And your weight loss will be low because it affects your metabolism.
Do women also struggle to lose weight based on the fact that they have lower levels of testosterone?
Yes, low levels of testosterone can influence women as well, and energy levels.
So what would you say to somebody who's starting out on this journey, this dad bod to mad bod journey that we're going on? First of all, how to start and encouraging words to maybe get there.
So for me, I think that if I'm going to be a little bit scientific of what they found works, because gosh, there's so many ways of tackling this and approaching it. But they found that there's 4 steps, and your first thing is your inspiration. You must feel inspired, and everyone's going to have a different inspiration. You watched a video of someone and they showed their body weight drop, from January to December, and you thought, gosh, that I want to do that. You've got a big event coming up that you want to look good at. You're going to tour. I don't know, Qasim, I don't know. You guys, think in your own heads. What is your inspiration?
Yes.
What is your inspiration?
You're suddenly looking at your kids.
I think my biggest inspiration is my kids. I lost my dad when I was really young. So I want to be there for them for as long as possible. I remember thinking to myself, I was 13 years old when my dad passed. So I look at, I'm pretty much the same age now when I was born, that my youngest was born now. So when my dad passed, I was, so I don't want that for them. Firstly, I smoke. I'm a smoker. And so that's number one that needs to go. Very hard to do, but I'm trying. But most importantly right now for me it's this. I don't want to be an old, overweight dad running after my kids going, I can't kick the ball. Can you fetch it?
Agreed.
So I think that's the thing. That's my inspiration. It's my kids to be a healthier dad, to be, and to be a healthier person and husband also, whose wife doesn't want something good to look at.
Absolutely.
So, I'm sure like Rene sits on that side, she's like, damn straight. I want to be looking at my man.
Yeah. You'd be proud of your man. For me, taking away from the dad aspect, just in terms of something I want to do next year is go back to playing full field football again and not get tired running half the length of the field again. The fitness is there. I want that fitness back. I remember what it was like. I mean, just running 20 minutes on the treadmill. This week started running on the treadmill again, and I used to run, and for some people this isn't very impressive. It was impressive for me at the time, okay? I could run 4.61 in 20 minutes, and now I could run 2.53 or something like that. It's like, this is terrible. Like, I am 2 Ks further down the road than my 10 years ago self. Yes. And so that I want to change for me personally. So
that's good.
Motivation.
That's good. Amazing. So that's your inspiration. Then the second thing is you can't just have the inspiration. The second thing is intention.
Yes.
What is the intention? And that intention can start off small. If you look at your lifestyle, you say, oh my gosh, I haven't been exercising. I'm going to definitely start exercising. Or, gosh, it's the fizzy drinks. I'm having so much fizzy drinks. I'm going to cut all fizzy drinks out from tomorrow or from today.
Yeah.
There must be intention after that inspiration.
Yes, exactly.
You must tell it to yourself. Sometimes I advise people to write it down. It becomes real to you. You've written it down. These are the things I am going to do. This is my intention that I'm going to follow in terms of diet, in terms of exercise, in terms of my well-being. I'm going to give myself me time, alone time. I'm going to make sure I go to bed early. I'm going to make the right choices when I go to restaurants, as Paula said, which is excellent, because those are the challenges.
Yes.
Be real with yourself. The challenges are going to come, and that you've got a plan.
But you also don't want to say no to going to the restaurant, because you still want to go and live your life.
You want to be social. You want to, and look at what is important to you in terms of well-being.
Yeah.
So you want to be healthy for your kids. So that is about looking at your social, your emotional, your spiritual, your psychological, all aspects of it. It's not just the one aspect, but that intention you must have that intention.
Yeah.
And I guess it's also a matter of not letting one little slip up throw you off your path.
No, exactly. Because then we'll go into your repetition. Because then you must take action. So you've got an intention. Third thing, action. You have to now do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's one thing to say on a Sunday, Sundays are those,
It's Monday
I've
tomorrow.
done that many times with girlfriends.
Start tomorrow.
Tomorrow's my day, I'm starting.
It's Monday tomorrow.
Monday, I'm starting. And then you get to the next Monday, So you can have these wonderful intentions. The third thing is the action.
Yeah, take action.
Do you know what
I
found the best thing to do in those instances, because I'm one of these tomorrow people. I'll say, I'm going to eat healthy as of tomorrow. I'm going to do this as of tomorrow. But the one thing I found was, if I say, I'm going to do it starting now. Like, instead of starting tomorrow, I'm literally going to start now. Like, when that's how I quit smoking.
Yeah.
When I'm finished the cigarette, that's it. And, it's the same thing, when you are eating badly. Once this KFC is over, that's it, I'm done.
Yes, that's a very good thing.
I'm going to try that today. once that KFC is over.
And once you've taken the action, last step, repetition.
Boom.
We know about habits, 21 days.
Yes.
3 to 4 weeks of habits, of not having the fizzy drinks, of exercising 3 times a week or, twice a week, of making sure that you make right choices whenever you go out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are all the things you want to repeat and repeat and repeat until it becomes a habit.
Okay, so throughout this journey of the Dad Bod to Mad Bod challenge, we've been focusing a lot on fitness and physical fitness, but there's the mental health aspect as well. How much of a role does the mental health aspect play in your personal fitness?
It's huge. It's massive, because many of us, yes, we're talking about authenticity. In 2023, people want authenticity after COVID. You can't BS people about anything, and we must embrace our body images, and we must be very positive about our body shape and all of those things. But the aspect is still your health. And often, that health is not just physical, it's the mental aspect, because even if your body's looking amazing according to whatever criteria you use, you may not feel that.
Yes.
And sometimes I always say, I look good when I feel good.
Yes.
That's what people pick up from me. That's the energy. But when you're not feeling good, you just don't exude it.
Yes, indeed.
So the two are linked. And that has to be important. When you go through your journey, you have to sort of do that introspection and look at, what is my self-image? Where did I tell myself I'm not okay when I was younger? Because, sometimes you're going to get that body, but you're still not going to feel okay.
Yes.
Because it's a lot of a psychological thing and a mental thing, rather than actually what your body really looks like.
And that requires work.
That's hard work. That's really hard work, but that's also another aspect.
Yes.
Obviously, we know that if you are in a depressed state, we've been through stressful times the last 2 years, if we really look at things. And if you are in that depressed state, then definitely exercise is going to help you.
Yeah.
That endorphins are going to kick in, and that's going to make you feel better.
No, absolutely. And I think as well, when you are feeling better in terms of physically, you do walk around with just a little bit more of a strut, just a little bit more confidence,
a bit more swagger.
And you know what? For the men who have wives, you're thinking, how is this benefiting the wives? When a man has more confidence, he's more attractive towards his partner.
Yes.
Surely.
Yes. Definitely. It's all about that confidence.
Okay, then people talk about the 80-20 rule. They say that diet is like 80% of the journey. How true is that?
Yes, that is very true. You cannot, train yourself into a good diet. You basically, what many people fool themselves. We can fool ourselves.
Yeah.
And we can say, listen, I'm training because I want to eat whatever I want to eat.
Yeah. I'm guilty of saying that.
Yes, we often use that, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
The same way that you could exercise, there's lots of research papers, and I mean, obviously, if you look at research and exercise and body fat, losing body fat, there are so many different theories, and you'll read papers that have found this, and papers that have found exactly the opposite. And they say 30 minutes, 3 times a week, you become healthy. Yes, it's going to improve your health. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to lose weight.
Yes.
You can exercise every day and not lose weight, because it really comes down to how much energy are you using, and how much are you putting in, intake and output.
Yes.
Yeah, indeed.
So.
Okay, wow, Rene, thank you so much. And before we go, you have got an opportunity to do our measurements so far. How do you think we're going to do in this whole Dad Bod to Mad Bod challenge? let's just put it out. I'm not going to say who you think's going to win.
No, I'm not going to say who's going to win. I'm just saying that I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in the next few weeks.
Okay.
because I think, I love the enthusiasm. I can see that the inspiration is real. You're feeling it. And the fact that you're sharing it with so many people is so powerful.
Yeah.
Because this is so meaningful for many people out there, and you're doing it with limited resources, which is very important, because often we say it costs lots of money to be healthy.
Exactly.
And this is the challenge, and I think it's important for you to share those challenges as you go on your journey.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So I tell you what, if you have a dad bod and you would like to take part in the Dad Bod to Mad Bod challenge, please do so.
Boom.
You can post all of your progress, your pics, your suggestions, your encouragement, your challenges, whatever it might be, on social media using the hashtag that we've created, hashtag DadBod to MadBod, and hopefully at the end of this 12 weeks we will be sharing our Mad Bods with you. Well,
boom, coming to a beach near you.
Forward.
At least getting there. And we would also like to keep you with us on that journey as well. So Dad Bod to Mad Bod. Thank you so much, Rene.
Boom. Rene, thank you so much.
Thank you guys, and good luck.
Thank you.
you.